Hello, welcome to another movie review of mine. Afterwards, please take the chance to visit my website www.thesceneviewer.com, where I have thousands of movie reviews, 60 plus lists of best films per genre, yearly rank lists with top 5 per category, going back to 1914, and dozens of miscellaneous lists, including TV shows, actor profiles, and top 10 films per genre. The link can be found below. Today we are reviewing Alive 1993. Gave this movie a rating of 9 and was viewed in 2003, 2004, 2014, and 2015. John Malkovich's introduction for Alive is comical because he never experienced the harrowing tale and I could never stop laughing through it. He should have been replaced by one of those actual survivors, preferably Nando Parrado, to give the story the justice it deserves. After the pointless soliloquy is finished, it's the beginning of a pretty darn good movie. I've seen it many times over the years, and it's the last 10 minutes from the trek to the helicopter rescue that makes Alive transcendental. In short, there's nothing like it. What's surprisingly amazing is how accurate the story is. The Fairchild plane carrying a local Uruguayan rugby team that crashed in the middle of the Andes Mountains, and the survivors being forced to battle the wintry conditions, depleting their supply of food and wine in mere days, and therefore succumbing to hunger by eating the deceased bodies. Most viewers have made too much deal about the unthinkable. They just don't know it until it actually happens to them. As good as the cast is, Ethan Hawke is the standout by giving a special performance as Nando Parrado. Having seen Alive many times, I'm still conflicted whether or not it deserves a 10, but the ending is quite powerful. All in all, Alive is a true story of human courage and the will to survive. Alive is a heart-stopping adventure survival story. The cast is terrific, but it's Ethan Hawke who gives a special performance. All in all, Alive is an unbelievable movie. I finally got around to picking up the book by Piers Paul Reed, and what's refreshing is that there isn't much of a difference between the book and the film. It's almost exactly how the event happened, which took place from October 13th to December 23rd, 1972. Nando Parrado wanted to get out of the mountains from the beginning and therefore should be credited for saving the lives of 15 people. Religion had nothing to do with it. Eating dead bodies was the absolute necessity. The author was correct. If all 45 did survive at last, there's a chance every one of them would have been dead at the end. In other words, where's the food? As to getting out of the mountains, it took Nando and Roberto Canessa 10 days to walk 24 miles before reaching the green valleys of Chile. When Canessa and he might have saw a road, he was actually correct. Also, there was a vacant hotel resort 13 miles to the east, but nobody could have known that. Their families commissioned plane searches all over the region, but were ultimately unsuccessful. It's because the top part of the fuselage was 100% white, making it hard to differentiate from the snow. Other issues were high altitude and wintry conditions, hence the unsafe flight travel. The helicopter rescue at the end isn't how it happened in the film, but it's close enough. The other 14 already knew in advance. Parrado and Cosenza had made it by listening to the radio. Their concern at that point was how they looked and the dead bodies that were littered around the fuselage. Half were transported to the hospital while the rest was left behind for another day along with the rescue team of 5. When the 5 tried to enter the fuselage, they were overcome by the stink inside, so all but one chose to sleep in their own tent overnight. None of the pilots believed Nando when he showed them the way because of how he climbed the mountains without special equipment. The movie is still powerful, while the acting is uniformly great. Most importantly, the story is essentially the same, which is a rarity from Hollywood. The only misgiving I have is John Malkovich's narration, which should have been drawn by one of those actual survivors. Preferably Nando. All in all, if you read the book Alive, the story of the Andes survivors, you'll be pleased with the film. Thank you so much for coming to see my review. Don't forget to visit my website at www.thesceneviewer.com.